Okie doke, what is going on, guys? I'm Enan Reshiram here, joined by my new casting partner, Clover. We're going to be here casting tonight for the University of Hawaii at Manoa against Marquette University for the first week of the EGF circuit play of Overwatch. Clover, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I think we're all super excited for the start of the season. We've got some great games ahead of us, so we're just going to be looking forward to everything.
Yeah, I know, especially with Overwatch League just wrapping up with most likely its final season. A lot of people are, a little up in the air when it comes to Overwatch Esports. However, we will take pride in knowing that the collegiate scene is still going in, and it looks like we're jumping right into game right away with some very familiar looking compositions that were featured in the playoffs, but I guess we'll have to wait and see exactly as what they're going to be rolling out on as we get started here on the first map of Ilios.
4, 3, 2, 1. Round 1.
It's looking like UH is running out with a Bastion Echo composition and a Lifeweaver of all things. Lifeweaver character that we haven't seen too much in the meta of as of late. It's been mostly the flex supports, but it is looking pretty interesting as we do see our our star Echo players say doing a bit of poke presence on the opposite side of the team, going in for a little bit of the extra pressure onto the Mercy out to the back, but he's got to duck out for just a little bit. Math Dealer go ahead and putting up his shield as we do see Akamai taking out Stomps on Marquette University side. And it is looking like that their Bastion is going to go ahead and be putting in some additional pressure onto the backline. That's held up and a little pagoda down there. Nice. Very nice bomb onto Mickey there by Akamai. As Sojourn is going to be taken out once again by Akamai. As Akamai going for the 2, putting in some extra pressure onto the Tracer as River God cleans up Royal Ranger on the opposite side. As Zippy's just going to go ahead and take a zip down into the break. And it is looking like Math Dealer's just pushing up a little bit, just wanting to put in some little bit of presence. I am liking the Sigma composition that we have rolling out today. Sigma did have a lot of big presence in the Overwatch League playoffs this year, and we can definitely see why, as a Sigma battle between Stomps and Math Dealer is going in, as the Rock is protected from the Bastion onto the Sigma instead. Get down, Mr. President, indeed. The Rock is going to be shielded again by Math Dealer. As once again, it looks like Marquette is trying to put in a little bit of pressure, but Akamai is up in the skies with the Lifeweaver on the Bastion, so it is going to be just a little bit difficult for him it's a little difficult for Marquette in order to get some extra positioning, especially now that the artillery strikes are coming down. Artillery strikes not needed. Never mind. They are going to grab 2 as Say cleans up Mickey in the first round, and Say cleaned up Royal Ranger there as Stomps is just once again not able to get anything done. It is looking like, Clover, that it is a pretty dominant first round on Ilios, but we do have a couple more percentage ticking up on the end.
For sure, and also some of the ults are starting to come into play. People are starting to get really high percents on that, so we can look forward to seeing what they're going to do.
Ooh, really good kill onto Akamai by Zippy there. As you do see Say making a bit of an assassination play as he goes for the duplicate on the Bastion, but they are going to be having the Mercy pocket healing there. Luckily though, Banana Lumpia is there with the nice immortality field to protect them from that protect him from any extra damage as River God goes ahead and takes out Royal Ranger, and Say is taken out by his counterpart in Zippy. And it is looking like it is going to be pretty good on their end. Matthew is going to go ahead and miss the accretion onto the opposite Sigma, but I don't think it is going to be matter. Objective secured. First point goes to UH.
Score 0-1.
I am curious as to see as to what if there is going to be any potential composition swaps. I know as of a current patch, we haven't rolled over to Season 7 just yet, so we are still rocking in with the increased Zarya, slight Sigma buffs, but it is looking like some things are cooking up in the side of UH. I do believe they are still going to be rolling out with that Bastion composition, but it is looking like a couple other swaps are being made onto this point. You gotta remember though, Clover, on this particular point of Ilios Ruins, very long sidelines. So if they're not careful, enough, they're just gonna get picked off. But it is looking like they're having something in order to match that just on the off chance. As Akamai is rolling out on the Soldier, Say flirting a little bit with the Torbjorn, but coming out on the Tracer instead. And Matthew is gonna be on the Winston as Stomp swaps over to D.Va instead. Right, a lot of pressure is being put onto Stomps at the end as the D.Va mech is taken down. Baby D.Va is going to be running around the field now. A lot of good pressure is being applied by Akamai as Akamai is taken nearly out by the case of Zippy and Reach for help. But it is looking like Matthew is not going to be worrying about any of that as the D.Va is taken out. Extra pressure is being applied onto the backline of Marquette University as they aren't able to find any picks. Sojourn stunned into the wall and finished off by Banana Lupia there. Another slam onto the Widowmaker as Say cleans up Zippy, and Mickey is forced to run out of there as Stomps is swapping over to the Junker Queen. It is looking like there is going to be just a bit of a slow move over onto the point, as unfortunately Marquette does not have a Lucio to help speed them out compared to this very divey and very mobile composition on the side of UH. But we are seeing a bit of a play being made. The shout is going to be used by Stomps. Unfortunately, it isn't going to be getting a whole lot of value. A lot of pressure is being applied, and Royal Ranger is so low as Stomps is stunned by the punch. And it is looking like Royal Ranger is able to take out Say, but Math Dealer in the back just to take out that Sojourn. The Mercy Valk is going to be made. Resurrect is going to be made, as unfortunately Math Dealer did not have the punch to help go ahead and cancel that. Supports are stunned out of the Immortality field as a lot of pressure is being made. A lot of good movements on the side of Marquette, but unfortunately UH is still in control of the point, but this should help even that out as Stomps takes down Akamai. But this Doomfist by Math Dealer is just slippery. Full swap is going to be missed, but even though it missed the Mercy, it did not miss Royal Ranger over there as Say takes him out. And a lot of pressure is being applied to the Mercy. This is so low. Somebody please support the Mercy there. Reach for help is going to be taking out Math Dealer as the overclock is popped, taking out Banana Lupia, taking out River God. Reach for help is doing the best to say, hey, there ain't no help being needed by me. I'm reaching myself, taking them out, taking the point, capping it off at 86% as it's now going to be a tick up for Marquette.
I think we can go and look forward to seeing what UH is going to do, see how they're going to try to fight back against that and try to take back the point, but also see how Marquette is able to hold it or how that's going to go.
Oh, it is looking like a lot of pressure is going to be put onto this Doomfist classic tank experience, but Akamai is there with the overclock to take out Stomps on the tank as Zippy is trying to go ahead and even this up. A Resurrect is made onto Stomps, but they lost Royal Ranger in the process. Zippy, though, taking out River God, and Banana Lumpia, Math Dealer, and Say are taken out of the fight as Stomps is finally putting himself on the board, making sure that they are not silenced in this entire game. It is looking a lot closer now there, Clover, as we do see Say swapping onto Genji.
Disrupting.
Right, some extra pressure being applied now onto Math Dealer as he makes the seismic slam onto there and just backing out a little bit as Reach for Help is currently reaching there with a Mercy Pocket. Slam is going to be put onto him as a lot of pressure is being applied by Math Dealer onto him, and River God is saying, I don't care about any of that, I'm taking out Zippy myself with those kunais. Very good and very nice Suzu though to cleanse all the slow effects from the seismic slam, but unfortunately Banana Luffy is there to take out Reach for Help, and who's immediately resurrected as Math Dealer is taking a bit of a time with some unluckiness, little unlucky bug into the drink. but it is looking like UH is needing to back out just a little bit, but we do see 88 on the clock compared to 86. UH needs to act fast if they want to keep on to this point, or they're going to hand over the point to Marquette. And we do see the touch being made. Overtime is going to be taken down as Zippy is taken out by Akamai at the worst possible time. Say taking out Reach for help. Akamai taking out Mickey as this. Oh no, the Kitsune Rush is flushed. The Dragon Blade is pulled, and it is looking like UH is capped at this point. It's not over yet, but those overtime spawns are going to hurt really badly. 90 seconds, or 90 on the clock, picking up. The Tracer trying so hard to touch the point, but unfortunately, they're not able to make it in time. Just Say is putting so much pressure. Mickey taken down, and that is going to be map 1 going to the University of Hawaii. A lot of good plays being made by UH. It was a little silent at the start for Marquette, but Marquette is going to be able to do make it show that they're not quite out of the series yet. Even though it was pretty dominant, I did like their showing on Ruins, but unfortunately this dominance of the Doomfist and the dominance of Math Dealer on the Sigma, it just seemed to be overwhelming them a little bit on the side of Marquette.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of pressure there. It was a really fun game to watch. Also, the back and forth a little bit. They had control, UH had control, then Marquette took over control for a bit, and then it went back to UH right with overtime at the really end. Very intense at the end there.
I know, it's classic tank experience though with Math Dealer there. Just anything that is anti-fun, no playing the game allowed. Just completely trying to shut down that Doomfist, but the backline of UH just making sure that he's able to play the video game. But Olympia and River doing pretty good.
It was definitely a very fun game to watch. I liked both rounds of it.
I know it is pretty interesting, especially here in week 1. Teams obviously still need to get the meta figured out. Especially from last season, we do know how good of a tank Math Dealer is. And we do know that there is a lot of stuff that can be pulled out from the side of the University of Hawaii. But even though Marquette did have a little bit of an unlucky season last time, we did see some signs of life there on Ruins. You know, the Junker Queen composition looked pretty good for them. I think had Akamai not gotten that pretty lucky pick, probably would be seeing this go into a 3rd round on Lighthouse. But again, just showing the team bonding and the chemistry that over at UH seemed to overwhelm them just a little bit this time.
No, that's definitely true. And also we did see a couple people changed around the characters they were playing during the game, so we're definitely going to see how that progresses through the rest of the season as we go into that, whether they're going to settle into a more comfortable thing going in.
Yeah, we still need to wait for that season 7 patch to come out next week too, so everything that we're playing here now probably is just a week 1 exclusive. Who knows? You know, gotta love Blizzard balancing team, just completely shaking things up every few weeks. And I do believe we are going to be heading into the next round in just a moment. And I believe that they are going into King's Row. So King's Row, typically known for a lot of Reinhardt plays Clover, but we did also see some Sigma being played in the Overwatch League playoffs. But what do you expect to see out of the 2 teams on this one?
I'm not sure. I know I love personally playing as Widow on this map, so I wonder if anyone's going to go in that direction or if it's just going to be a lot of attacking, trying to push forward the payload.
I either got to see if they're going to be taking those long sightlines or if they're going to be taking maybe to the Brawl side of things. I do know Brawl is a lot more favored on King's Row than, you know, the long sightlines with the snipers. But I mean, we'll just need to wait and see as to what they're rolling out with. It is looking like we are seeing some Zarya on the side of Marquette. Zarya, which is a character who, even though they did get a lot of buffs onto Zarya, she really hasn't been meta in a lot of the cases either. We've seen the Sigma taking a lot of reigns, and especially knowing that this is probably a very good comfort pick for Reach. We're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, Sigma's not active in this round. We've got different characters, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it's going to go this round.
Alright, as the time ticks down, we are going to be seeing UH running out with the Junker Queen Rush. of all things, and playing with an Ashe. So no Widowmaker, but we are seeing a little bit of Ashe. A lot of pressure is going to be applied from that Dynamite onto the Bastion. Zippy needing to back out, and unfortunately Reach for Help is needing to expend a lot of the bubbles in order to make sure his team doesn't go down. But he is so low, but unfortunately, when Zarya gets low, she also gets a lot of damage thanks to the bubbles as he Reach for Help takes out Math Dealer. But Say, with those Junkrat mines, is going to be able to take out Zippy from a long distance. But you can't be letting this happen. You can't be letting Say just get into the backline, and Axehand is going to make sure that that is not a problem. Axehand taking up Banana Lumpia as Reach for Help silences Say, sending him back to the spawn room for just a little bit longer. A lot of pressure being applied by Akamai on that Ashe. Royal Rangers able to duck out very safely, get behind the statue, but they can't be letting. Oh, good. They're denying a lot of the space. Sorry, I misspoke there. Misspoke a little bit. But a lot of pressure is being applied onto Reach for Help. Somebody please get this man some healing. Royal Rangers taken down so low, but able to stay alive as the immortality field is expended. But Say with a double kill on the tires, and that killing cleans up Zippy. Unfortunately, the window is not able to get enough done. University of White most likely capping the first point off the back of that double kill from the tire. Here we go, seeing a lot of pressure being applied onto the spawn door as they're walking out, preventing them from getting any setup. The wall is going to be put up to try and take out Akamai, but Say is just there to take out Axehand. Very good anti being thrown onto the side of UH by Marquette, but I don't know if it's going to be enough for them to engage. They are missing a very crucial member, but you needed to do anything to solve that time thing. We are seeing a lot of pressure being put onto Matthew there. A bubble needed to be extended by Reach for Help as he is knifed back in right racing. The immortality field needed to come out, and there's just so much pressure and damage being applied on the side of UH as the solo grab takes out Math Dealer, and they just need to make sure that they can keep Reach for Help alive. But unfortunately, the support is just being pressured so hard. Akamai taking out Reach for Help. Both tanks absolutely good, but UH is just marching forward thanks to that extra range. Reach for Help making the swap onto the Ramatra as Axehand and Zippy need to throw down as much as they can in order to prevent them from capping point B. Right, there is a large ultimate bank being applied onto Marquette, but it doesn't look like that's gonna matter. It is looking like the Rampage is being thrown out. Axehand's Blizzard is able to solve them a little bit of time. Math Dealer taking out Reach for Help and Zippy though, and the DPS line is just completely silenced, sent out. The rest of the team sent back to spawn. More time added onto the bank. We have a 5-minute time bank on the side of UH to attack this out. Marquette making as many swaps as they can. We are seeing the Ramatra being pulled out, which is not a common pick against a Junker Queen. Say ducking and weaving against those bullets, and we are seeing Axehand making the swap onto Junkrat themselves. Zippy applying the artillery strike, trying to separate the backline of UH, see if they can take them out, but unfortunately, it is not going to be able to do anything. We are seeing Patty trying to make his best as Royal Ranger takes a good pick on the Say. Reach for Help, stopping Math Dealer in their tracks, sending the rest of UH barking back to the spawn doors at the shores of Oahu. And we now see Marquette finally putting up a good defense, but Akamai is going to make sure that's not the case. A lot of pressure is being applied, and this Ramatra is a very big force despite anything that may be against the two tanks. We are seeing a lot of pressure being applied on the small bullet. Bomb thrown in by Akamai, but the window is also thrown in as Bomb is slept on the point by Hattie. Hattie taking out Bob, making sure Bob is not able to do anything. Akamai is making sure Hattie's not able to do anything either. Immortality field thrown out. Reach for Help, Nano. It's not doing anything. Zippy trying their best to back off into the point as Royal Ranger tries their hardest to keep the rest of the team alive. But Say is just applying so much pressure on this Junkrat, and we do see the tire is online, and what do we see them? Very close to the spawn. It isn't looking too good for Marquette. They're gonna need to make sure that they don't get that tire out, and this is what you need to do to make sure that does not happen. Math Dealer taken out as a Lucio is also sent down into the ring, and River God thrown away back into his mystical form of Moira, as UH is sent back to spawn. 3 minutes on the clock left. Alright, Axe Hand has the tire themselves, but it is looking like Sei has spotted out Junkrat, and it's a Junkrat duel for the ages. River God stealing the kill from Sei, takes down Axe Hand with that biotic crystal. As suffering now, the rest of the team is injured, but the sound barrier is making sure that that's not gonna happen, as Sei taking out the backline of Marquette, taking out Zippy, taking out Reach for Help, and the ace in the hole for Sei, taking out the entirety of Marquette. A tire is sent out, but it's not able to accomplish anything. A lot of pressure being applied, and they're not able to touch the point in time. 2 minutes banked in for UH as we move on to the second part.
Score 0-3. Switching sides.
That was a pretty dominant attack round for UH there. Clover, what do we think that Marquette needs to do in order to try and counteract what UH has on their front line?
Thinking maybe the tanks could have get some kind of more of a shield tank out there, maybe to take some of the damage away from them. Also spreading out a bit more, like that one ult at the end definitely just took all of them out right there. So spreading out more, just we'll see how it goes from there.
Backs against the wall, and there's a Junkrat in your face, and there's not much that you really can do, unfortunately, aside from just trying not to let it get you. But we are seeing potentially a bit of an interesting composition on the side of UH. We're seeing the Doomfist comp with the Lifeweaver Ana backline potentially. Okay, this is something that we don't see every day. I do love these collegiate levels because we see so many interesting compositions that you wouldn't think to see at the pro level. And obviously these guys are collegiate pros in their own respect. Seeing the Lifeweaver with the Doomfist, this is going to be interesting, as Royal Ranger potentially flirting with the Lifeweaver of their own, but sticking on to the Baptiste Ana as a lot of pressure. Look at that ult charge from Sei. 10 seconds in, and they already got 33%. Amazing ult charge play on the side of Sei. As a lot of pressure is going to be applied onto Marquette. Patty is not able to go ahead and get through that choke. Reach for help, reaching the checkpoint as best they can. Bracy thrown in, not hitting anyone, but Zippy is there to take out Akamai. There's the Widowmaker you were talking about, Clover. Pressure being applied onto his axe swing into his back. Classic tank experience, classic Doomfist experience, as Math Dealer sent back to spawn, and Reach for Help taken out by the flanking Junkrat on the flank by UH. Oh no, they spotted him out, but can they take him out in time before any more kills are taken? Antied onto Sei, but he's yanked back in, and Zippy making sure that this is not a problem. Axe Hand taking out River God, Akamai doing his best to try and keep them in this fight. Zippy is taking out Nanolupia, Math Dealer, and Akamai on the point, but Zippy on a very clear comfort pick, silencing UH. A very quick take by Marquette. A very good showing, very good attack. Maybe they weren't a defense team, Clover. Maybe they just, you know, it happens sometimes. Not always great on the defense. And what are we looking forward to? What do you think Marquette needs to play more into on their attack round compared to UH?
UH took it pretty fast, but I mean Marquette also took the first point really fast, so I'm looking forward to seeing also like how Widow comes into play with this. Like I said, I love her. Other characters too, like I see their Mei already has the ult ready, so I'm gonna see where that gets put into play. The last round, Mei's ult didn't really do super well, so let's see how it goes with this one too for them.
A lot of pressure being applied, and like you said, the mate is the key one, but you can't be doing that when Sei is taking out Royal Ranger and Zippy. A back and forth round right here, as they are just matching. A lot of people taken out, but Reach for Help, grabbing the kill onto Sei is going to push Marquette a little more forward than UH would like. It is looking like Akamai is going to commit the bomb, as the Blizzard is also committed in by Akamai, as Banana Lupia putting down the Tree of Life, but the Rampage from Reach for Help taking out both Patty and Axe Axe Hand able to take out other members of the wave. Swap onto the trade from Akamai's. A lot of pressure being applied onto this life weaver. And a very, very clean anti on the side of Hattie. And Royal Ranger there to take out Matthew. It is looking like a potentially big cap on here from the side of Marquette as Zippy snipes Banana Lumpia on that very large flower of his, taking out Say as well. Amazing play from Zippy with reach for help, taking out Akamai. And this pretty familiar sight, I have to say. UH also had 5 minutes on their attack. Marquette has 5 minutes on theirs. Let's see if they can potentially make a very good attack of their own over. Alright, it is looking like teams are just going to be dipping back and forth between their things, with Akamai sniping Zippy out of the air as Math Dealer is given the nano boost, leading up the backline of Marquette. Pressure being applied from all angles, left, right, center, up, down, inside out, all by Math Dealer just slamming onto the point. An otherwise silent pick this round is now finally online. As Marquette set back to spawn for the first time on this round. Unfortunately, this is going to be the point in which Widowmaker is going to have a lot more trouble. Compared to point A and B, there's a lot tighter of sightlines here that Widowmaker unfortunately needs to be in very prime position to get in, as that's key reason number one why it's hard to play Widowmaker, but key reason number two why it's hard to play Doomfist. Math Dealer taking out from the Meteor Strike onto Zippy, but it is looking like they're able to take out Math Dealer in response to Akamai sniping Royal Ranger out as Axe Hand is sniping Akamai. Reach for help, slamming onto Banana Lumpia, but oh no, the Blizzard is thrown in by UH, and a lot of pressure is being applied onto Zippy. UH is not able to take into as big of an engagement as they'd like, but Zippy on this Widowmaker, so dominant, so controlling on this round. But Akamai is saying, I am no slouch on the sniper characters either. Sniping Zippy in the forehead with the railgun charge, Say slicing away Axe Hand as the nano boost is committed onto reach for help, as Axe Hand is sent back to the spawn, trying to go ahead and shed H a little farther back. Rampage is online from reach for help, as Zippy takes a swap onto Honto, looking to see if they can land a clean one. There's no Kiriko, no ability to cleanse anything. But you gotta be careful of the sleep onto this and potentially shut down their top position. Manic Shout committed, Rampage committed onto 3. It is good. Genji is forced away as the Blizzard also clears away the crowd. Akamai though launching that overclock to take out Hattie. Zippy though sniping away Akamai. Banana Lumpia, Royal Ranger as Say deflects the arrow back into Zippy's head, and sending UH back to spawn, but maybe not as the dominant faction as they would like. Respawns are moving in a lot closer. A lot of good headshot being made to bring Akamai down. Manic Shout needing to be used early to keep them alive and save the sound barrier. But it is looking like it's paying off dividends. Akamai grabbing 1, grabbing 2, reach for help, matching with 2 of their own onto Akamai and Say. DPS line taken out, but he is moved into the end of the Omnic Residentiaries on King's Row by Banana Lumpia, as Zippy is applying as much pressure as they can. Only a minute and 30 left on the clock as it ticks down further and further. And there's 3 ultimates on the side of Marquette that could potentially open this up. But look on the side of UH, Dragon Blade, Rampage, and almost online as well. That Coalescent, Dragon committed to split aside University of Hawaii. But a lot of pressure being applied onto Math Dealer, and he's taken out. He wasn't able to get past the wall. They weren't able to break through. Say taken out with the Dragon Blade. Dragon Blade still in his pocket, but Hattie taking a very good pick. Royal Ranger sniping Akamai down with the kunais, as there's the Coalescence putting up a wall. Cleanse committed early onto Axe Hand, but it is looking like it's paying off dividends as well. Say not able to accomplish anything on the Dragon Blade, but Banana Lumpia and Math Dealer taking out 2 of their own. It's a 2 versus 3 on the side, but a very clean anti on the side of Hattie, but it's not enough. 20 seconds left on the clock for Marquette to make it and cap this point. An amazing defense so far, but Akamai with that overclock. There's so much pressure being applied onto the side. Overclock online. He's taking Royal Ranger down, out for the count. Reach for help, throw it away, reaching for as much help as he can, and the cleanup is just too good. UH is denying them their point on King's Row. We are at match point here, Clover.
Yeah, I mean, that was a very intense game, especially at the end right there. All the pressure being applied at the very end.
There's just so much pressure being applied onto the backline, and they were getting picks from Marquette, but there was just too many like silent picks onto the side from players like Say or Akamai making the very crucial swap onto the Junker Queen, or sorry, not onto the Junker Queen, onto the Sojourn, and just silencing out that Junker Queen as best they can. And obviously Math Dealer is a very good Doomfist player that we know, but it just wasn't, there just wasn't enough being put onto from the side of Marquette.
No, it was definitely a very fun to watch. I really enjoyed it. And also I did notice like the Widow switched out to Hanzo, so I'm wondering if that player from Marquette just really likes playing as snipers, you know? I'll see how that goes into the next round, depending on the map of course as well.
I know, we are going, I'm not sure what the third map is that we're going into yet, but I do want to see Marquette trying to put a little bit more pressure as to staying together as a unit. Marquette has a lot of good players. We are seeing that out from Reach for Help. A very strong Junker Queen player, definitely looking like a very good comfort pick. Zippy was taking over round like points A and B with that Widowmaker, but it just wasn't enough in the end. The team cohesion and working together as a unit that University of Hawaii was able to do, just too much that overwhelmed Marquette.
Yeah, Marquette definitely could have come out a little bit more together, but at the end, you know, they wound up really pressed for time, especially in those last couple of seconds. So it was just everyone wanted to go there, make the push, and try to get over there as fast as possible.
Alright, I did just get word that we are moving on to Flashpoint, going on to the newest game mode in Overwatch, starting on Suravasa of all rounds. This was the map that the Hangzhou Spark were able to do their amazing reverse sweeps against Atlanta and Boston. But let's see if Marquette can channel in some of that Hangzhou Spark energy and start a reverse sweep of their own. I would love to see the Junker Queen here. Junker Queen is a very, very strong character on Flashpoint, especially because of how long the spawns are away from each of the individual points. You do need the extra bit of speed in order to strike onto the targets just a little bit stronger.
Ready for battle.
The Junker Queen is still here. I see that up.
Junker Queen is looking like it's going to be the pick from the side of Marquette. And I'm curious to see. Math Dealer is looking like they're flirting a little bit with the Orisa, a very strong character in their own right. But we're gonna need to see some extra strength coming in from all points of Marquette if they're gonna want to start this reverse sweep against UH. It is looking like a very strong, strong combination of dive and rush onto the side of Marquette, and UH running out with the very classic rank combination of and the Bastion, Orisa, with the nice little bit of Baptiste and Lucio healing, as UH is able to take the point first, as Akamai is taking a little bit of too much damage from the side. Tracer is able to put a lot of pressure as Stomps silences Say out of the game. Turret is taken out by Zippy, but UH is able to capture the point first. You gotta be careful with Flashpoint. These points tick up very, very quickly. Zippy applying as much pressure as he can onto Akamai, as the rest of the team makes a swoop onto the point. Banana Lugia and Reach for Help taking out each team's respective mortality pool. As Akamai is out of Wheels mode and putting as much care and damage onto the point as he can. But Mickey silencing Say on the Lucio character, reaching for help, taking out Akamai with the snipe. And I am just realizing that Reach for Help has swapped from tank over to DPS as Stomps has come back in, and they are able to take out the rest of UH and secure capture on first. Individual pressure being applied, reach for help as he made the swap off the tank back onto the DPS. Stomps is looking for a good knife to see if he can get out of position, but that spear on Reach for help is setting them back as the Sound Barriers are committed to try and combat against River Gods. Nice, nice take from Ant Matrix, and it looks like Sound Barrier was not enough. The entirety of Marquette overwhelmed Zippy, trying to zip around, but unfortunately it's not enough as UH recaptures the point. 69% entire, kicking up.
That was some really good pressure. UH really came in working together as a team in that play right there, and I think it really benefited them to use that teamwork.
We are seeing how fast the points tick up here on Surabasa. 95 seconds, can anybody touch? We are looking at a very close touch, and they are able to secure it just at the end there. Scorpion is putting out a lot of pressure. Someone needs to touch the point, and the C9 on the point. Zippy was able to take down Akamai, but Math Dealer just cleaning up the rest of the team. As the second flashpoint is opening up as the hammer kill onto Stomps comes out. Zippy zipping his way closer towards the second cap point, but fortunately Marquette was not able to contest that point.
Flashpoint unlocks in 10 seconds.
Right, here we are onto the next flashpoint. Palace, I believe, is the one that we have made. Two turrets are destroyed at the same time somehow, as Math Dealer is applying a lot of pressure. The artillery strikes coming out from Akamai, splitting up the entire front and back line of Marquette. Road Ranger and Picky taking out so low as Picky is flown into the ring. A very good rampage onto Akamai, but unfortunately it's not enough. Pressure being applied back and forth. Zippy committing the full swamp, taking out River God and Akamai, securing the cap for Marquette. Oh, but unfortunately the unit was just not there. The rest of the team is gone on the side of Marquette, and UH was able to overwhelm them. 60% was secured by Marquette, 60% is where UH picks it back up. Say doing as good of a Metal Gear Solid impression as they can, as the rest of Marquette is coming back. At the same time, wheels going bashed into the multi-core and thrown in onto Stomp. This is Math Dealer unfortunately taking out the entirety of Marquette. Marquette is silenced back into the rest of the Swan as the swaps are being made, but a very firm hold by the University of Hawaii. It was a pretty expensive fight though. They did need to commit both the Arisa ult and the Molten Core. River God though still holding on to that Amp Matrix, as we also see Road Ranger holding on to the Amp Matrix of their own. Pressure being applied onto Math Dealer as much as you can, but Akamai with the double kill of the frag grenade. Silence. Oh no. Somebody nerf Bastion, please. Nerf Bastion into the ground, please. That was disgusting, UH. That was nasty. That was too much. Akamai was able to get 4 there as we're going on to potentially the last point of Flashpoint. If there was a time to channel the inner Hangzhou spark, this is it. Stomps making the swap onto the Sigma, reach for help, swapping onto the Bastion of their own. Royal Ranger unfortunately had to commit that Ant Matrix as Mickey makes a swap onto Mercy, unfortunately getting her Mercy pocket, pocketing the President there. We are going to be seeing a bit, potentially a comfort pick on the side of Stomp. Sigma is known for a lot of extra damage against the Arisa, and yeah, we see why. A lot of pressure was put onto Arisa and the rest of the team was not able to counter it. Sigma just eating up the damage of that Bastion as Akamai is sent back into the spawn. Say is applying so much pressure onto the Scorpion, taking reach for help out. There is a Mercy available on the field, potentially there. Banana Lumpia is there to make sure that they capture the point here and now. Reach for help taken out as Say is there with the hammers, hammered away. But Royal Ranger is there to take it out. Math Dealer taking Mickey out in the process, however, as Lucio is there to put on a lot of extra pressure. They're so low. Stomp taken out. Akamai though, fresh off the respawn, taking them out. potentially recapping the point. The turret is still alive there too. Both turrets are alive, but Zippy is there to take out Akamai. Point most likely in the cap favor of Marquette. That was a very long fight. A very, very long fight that only costed one sound barrier that we looked on the side of Marquette. 99, 90s across the board. Reach for help online for that artillery strike. UH only sitting there with, say, Matthew River God. But feels no fashion is there. Matthew is on the ground a little bit as the Sigma Medic Flux is blown up, and then Olivia taking out Zippy to reach for help is trying their hardest to keep themselves in the game, but the Amp Matrix and the damage from Matthew is just great. He's able to provide help get a bit of extra percentage on the board, but it just isn't enough. Marquette is taken out as UH puts themselves on the ticker for the third flashpoint. It's looking like the spear is thrown out, just trying to stall them for as long as they can, get a couple extra ticks as it's eaten up as Stomps had to commit the kinetic grasp onto that point. But look at how low he is getting. Artillery strike is being used on the side of Marquette, taking a lot of damage, but it's just going to be healed right back up. Floor is committed, sending the backline into a bit of a trap as the sound barrier is committed. Akamai taking out Royal Ranger, Say taking out Zippy, Math Dealer silencing the tanks of the team, as unfortunately the Mercy Stagger is here to stay. Oh no, poor Mickey. Mickey was able to take out Say, but is anyone able to make it back in time? 95, 97, 98, 99. Fortunately, Marquette is not able to get back onto the point. University of Hawaii taking their first game of the EGF series. That was a pretty dominant showing there, Clover. I don't know. I don't want to call it too early, but UH might be a potential favorite in this bracket.
I mean, the game today, if it was an indication, that could be true. But like you said, we do have a patch coming soon, so we'll see if that makes any changes to the composition or anything as well in the upcoming games.
There was just so much dominance being put in, and you can see a team like University of Hawaii, who has been playing together for about a year now. Most of these other rosters coming from other universities, they're swapping out players, players graduate, maybe players have other commitments that they need to make, and we're seeing just the importance of team chemistry here. There was just so many times when it looked like Say was going to be, taken out early, but the backline there of Banana and River is just there to protect them out. And I think we're in for a very interesting season here for UH.
Oh, it's
Personally,
definitely going to be a good season.
personally, I'm very excited here. Okie doke. That was the very first game of the EGF series on the side of the University of Hawaii. I've been Enan Resharam here, casting with Clover. Clover, any final remarks for our fans, very raging fans back home?
I think it was just a really fun, really great amount of games to watch today to see how it went, and I'm excited to see how UH is going to go for the rest of the season, and also seeing, how some other teams are going to play as well, different compositions, just how the season will go.
Okie doke. We're going to have so much fun casting this semester, seeing where EGF takes us. I've been Enan Resharam. It's been my casting partner, Clover. We'll see you guys on the next stream.